Hey, what's up guys? Lindsey here. I've got Old Man Hawkeye number 3. I love this comic. Now look, I know that Marvel right now, they're trying to sully the Old Man brand by making the old woman Laura, but don't sleep on this. We can't let them destroy this. This comic is totally flying under the radar. I've put it on my pull list. It's 12 issues, maxi series. I'm doing them all. So, subscribe if you don't want to miss that out. Alright, let's get into this. Bam! We immediately start with Captain America. Seemingly, Captain America. Just getting the shit kicked out of him. And we see that, oh, of course it's not the real Captain America because all the heroes have been wiped out. It's just a little bit of a photo opportunity. Take your photo here. With the evil Captain America. Oh, well. I think it's just trying to say that Captain America in general is evil, and we see all the kids are, yeah, if you're a bad guy, you think Captain America is evil. That reasoning checks out. All the kids are just beating him up wearing their villain masks, and you see Clint just being like, oh, come on, man. And I feel like it's sort of a trope that in post-apocalyptic worlds, manners and decorum, they just fly right out the window. As soon as it's the first sign of, hey, is electricity as readily available as it was like a minute ago? Because I'll beat the shit out of you. Let's just, look, because the apocalypse is an impending situation always. Whether you're watching this now, or you're watching this 1,000 years in the future. You gotta be ready. So let's just all agree to be civil. If we just agree to be civil now, we won't fall into this mannerless future. Even though everything we will build and eat will be rocks, we'll be civil to each other. And we see where Clint has ended up on his journey so far. Arcade's Murder World. Now, if Murder World sounds like a place you want to visit, you should probably seek some sort of treatment. Unless, you know, you're just a real-life murderer. If you're a real-life murderer, I'll take some murderer subs. But if you're just a regular person, you're like, I think about getting in murder. We gotta get you before you start getting into the murder. You see, it's sort of just like, wow, that Ferris wheel seems very large in comparison to everything else. But he passes by this old woman who's gonna give him a bit of a talking to later. So, you know, she's rocking that Kenshi blindfold look. You know, I'm a big fan of that. I'm just saying, have that in your pocket as well, because somebody could break your sunglasses, blind man. You wouldn't even know it. You can at least feel the blindfold on it. Oh God, please don't go around breaking blind men's sunglasses. Or do. It could be hilarious. And then we're cut back to Kano from Mortal Kombat. He's preparing some sort of food. And then when I look at this right, of course, he's wearing gloves, but right, they're totally bloody. So I was wondering, is it more gross to rub stranger's blood in your eyes? Of dead body stranger blood in your eyes, or is it less gross if it's people you know? I don't know the answer to that one. We see that Red Skull is calling him. He's like, I'm busy chopping out the people from the previous issue. And he says, I have no time for your idiosyncrasies. And Bullseye is just totally, he just cannot stand Red Skull. I don't know why. Because Red Skull is technically his boss, but you know, Bullseye, he's a bit of his own man. So I don't know why he sort of takes this. I guess the protection of being a sheriff, and the power that affords him or something. But I feel like these two, they're going to have to come to blows at some point. And then the next panel shows who he's cutting up, and it's Mr. Eye from the previous issue. And Mr. Eye is just his head is an eyeball, but he's got a Watcher's eyeball in his chest. And the panel is fucking so dope. It's got a really cool angle, as if you're looking through grates. And you, just imagine, I mean, I'm crawling around ceilings all the time, just in case, you know, some terrorism breaks out, then I'm already ready to go. I'm in the optimum position to get out of the situation. But he's pulling the eyeball, this huge eyeball out of him, and I gotta tell you, that shit is definitely worth, like, $3.75 or whatever you want. You gotta go get this comic for real. And then there's a scene, because you know I gotta skip some pages because those copyright overlords, my dude. The blind woman from the previous page, he sort of follows her into a tent and she gives him the old look. You're not living a life of revenge isn't living. It's only going to be bad. And can I just say, revenge gets a bad rap. I'd love a little taste of revenge. Like, I was watching some crime show or something the other day, and I was like, if somebody murdered somebody who I cherished, which is weird because I don't think of me cherishing anyone, but if it happened, would I seek revenge that way, or would I be like, let's let the courts handle it? And because I don't have an immediate answer, that's a little bit worrisome. So she tries to talk him out of this because he is on a quest, oh man, to just handle his business before his eyesight goes. And then there's a scene where his former wife sort of gets involved a little bit, and some people / things are on Clint's trail, and they're also drawn really great. Are you sensing a theme here of go buy this shit? And then, okay, then we're here. Clint is finally heading into the murder world arena. Now I gotta say, that's obviously a Mad Magazine like parody. I just feel like there's a better Murder World logo than that. I mean, in the post-apocalyptic years, do we have time for parody? Do we have time for jokes? I don't know, I just feel like Murder World's logo should have like a bunch more knives. Or just something, man. So he's going into this huge tent, and there's not a lot of people in it because people are scarce. And somebody says, I always expected you to walk through that curtain one day. So what took you this long, Clint? And it's this guy named Eric. Apparently this is Atlas. They have a little bit of a history. I'm not that familiar, but it's okay. So Atlas asks him, so what, you're here to kill me? And Clint responds, yes, and you get a little photograph on his mirror that we see, and it's, oh god, I just love that. I love in movies, especially like westerns, I feel like maybe in some modern movies where two people enter a room or enter a bar or enter somewhere and they both know, actually that a lot of martial arts movies as well, where they both know they're about to fight, so they're just taking a little bit of a breather, crack a couple jokes, and they're like, alright, let's do it, I guess. And it's just so, I feel like that's more realistic, but it's probably not. I feel like if you're going to go murder someone, you're just be like, oh god, just go do it, just no chit chat. But I just love that, just being like, are you here to murder me? Yeah. Just very, yeah, I'm gonna murder you. And so he says, still so righteous after all these years. You haven't aged well though. You really think you can still take me? So Clint's just, he's constantly battling with time, but luckily for him, all the heroes and hero types are also old as shit. Same old Clint, always fighting to survive. I didn't try to survive. Hoo-hoo, he just is good at it. He says, God man, not everything is about you, which is, I feel like there's some irony in here. I wanted to live. This may not seem like much, but it's a life, and that's, what would you do? I mean, this is a world where all the superheroes are dead, and you just, what would you do? Would you continue to fight even though it's a losing battle? Or would you just be like, alright, I guess I'll just join the circus. Heroes saw me as a master of evil. The bad guys saw me as a thunderbolt. Never got the cash, no 30 pieces of silver for turning on you. None of us did. So this guy was trapped in the in-between. Because if you're a thunderbolt, you're kind of a bad guy. And the good guys, you're like a plan D. And, it's just, you know what, I mean, relatively speaking, it's a good place to be because he's still alive. So he talks about this other guy in the photograph. Abe spends 18-hour days making Doombot parts in a factory line in Creehaven. So now we know Doombots are probably going to be an issue. And then the other 6 drinking to forget. Speaking of which. And then he offers them a drink, which is, again, a thing that I've seen in those movies where generally two men, are about to fight to the death. And they just have a nice little toast. It's a good moment. To the good times. And then, nope. Clint just reaches for his arrow. No, suit yourself. And he unveils himself. Even though he's old, he's got that old man strength I've been hearing about. Let's give them a show worth the price of admission. And of course, he grows. Well, no. Well, I'll show one more page, because the rest of it is pretty dope. So we see the tent that they're in starts rumbling, and it's like, hey guys, that's where the show's about to start. What are you doing? And we see that he's grown huge, a giant. I knew we should have killed you that day. In comparison, you see Clint, he's super ready to go, but you just see the size comparison there. That's crazy. And then the rest of the comic is a huge battle. I'm not going to spoil anything. You need to go get this. It's really well drawn. It's really violent. Oh, it's just great. It's got some jokes in there. It's just super good. You need to stop sleeping on this. Oh, God, I love it. I have seen nothing else about it. They pimped the first issue pretty hard for a while, and then just off in the wind. And I bet they're going to promote Old Woman Laura more than they promote this book, and this book is actually good. Have a good one, guys.